Right now, as you are watching this, wind gusts of 170 kilometres per hour are tearing through one of Australia's most beloved coastal towns. Exmouth, a town of fewer than 3,000 people, is being hammered by tropical Cyclone Mitchell, and residents have been told it is too late to leave. But here is the part most people are not talking about. This cyclone is not just a Western Australia problem. The remnants of this system are going to drag a massive band of rain and storms across the entire country over the next 4 days. And some of you watching right now are directly in its path without even knowing it. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I am going to break down exactly when the worst weather hits your city, hour by hour, starting with Western Australia and working all the way across to the East Coast. And if you stick around to about the 5-minute mark, I am going to reveal the one city that almost nobody is watching right now, but could see the most dramatic weather change of the entire week. First, drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from. Your city, your town, your suburb. I will make sure the forecast for your area is covered in the next update. Now let us get straight into it. Tropical Cyclone Mitchell. This system went from a disorganised tropical low to a severe Category 3 cyclone in just 24 hours. That is an explosive rate of intensification. Wind gusts hit 195 kilometres per hour at its peak on Sunday. To put that in perspective, that is faster than a Formula One car accelerates off the start line. Legendra Island, just off the Pilbara coast, recorded a gust of 163 kilometres per hour on Saturday evening alone. Barrow Island copped 75 millimetres of rain in a single day. Varanus Island received 92 millimetres. Karratha picked up 69 millimetres since Saturday morning, and that number is still climbing. But here is where it gets really interesting. And do not skip ahead because this next part changes everything for people living south of the cyclone zone. Let me walk you through the timing city by city, starting with the Pilbara coast. If you are in Karratha, the worst has already passed for wind, but do not let your guard down. Flash flooding remains a serious risk through Monday and into Tuesday. Roads are cut. The one road in and out of town is susceptible to flooding, and authorities are warning that communities could be completely isolated. If you have supplies, stay put. If you do not, now is the time to act. Onslow. This town is right in the firing line as of Monday morning. Mitchell crossed the coast near the Northwest Cape late Sunday night, somewhere around 11 p.m. local time, and it is now tracking southward. Onslow is experiencing destructive wind gusts of up to 155 kilometres per hour right now. The cyclone is expected to remain near this area through Monday morning before weakening to a Category 2 system as it pushes further south. The high tide at Onslow was a major concern, with storm surge threatening to push seawater into low-lying areas. Exmouth. This tiny resort town is currently in the eye of the storm, almost literally. The Shire president said he has never seen the town looking so clean and tidy because everyone has battened down everything they possibly can. Residents described the overnight experience as darkness and screaming winds that sound like banshees running around outside. Think about that for a moment. 200 kilometre per hour winds howling through the night while you sit in the dark hoping your roof holds. Exmouth has not experienced a cyclone of this strength in a decade. Destructive winds, heavy rainfall and flash flooding are all occurring simultaneously right now. The system will continue impacting Exmouth through Monday morning. Being on a peninsula, there is one road in and one road out, and it is extremely susceptible to flooding. That means once conditions deteriorate, there is no escape route. Evacuation centres have been set up at the Karratha Leisureplex and the Onslow Multi-Purpose Centre for those who need shelter. Now here is the part you do not want to miss. The remnants of Mitchell are not going to just fizzle out. As the cyclone weakens over land, it is going to slide southward through the interior of Western Australia between Monday and Wednesday, and this is where it gets really significant for a much larger number of people. Coral Bay. Expect gale force winds and heavy rain arriving Monday morning as the weakening system tracks south along the Ningaloo coast. Conditions will deteriorate rapidly after dawn. Carnarvon, this is a critical one. Mitchell S remnants are forecast to impact the western Gascoyne region on Monday afternoon and into Monday evening. Damaging wind gusts up to 120 kilometres per hour are possible. Heavy rainfall could lead to flash flooding and river flooding. Several roads could be cut, isolating communities. If you are in Carnarvon, you need to be prepared by Monday lunchtime at the latest, Denham and Shark Bay. The system is expected to track east of Shark Bay late Monday into Tuesday. Gale force winds may extend into this area by Monday afternoon and evening. Prepare for potential power outages and road closures. Gascoyne Junction. Heavy rain and storms are expected to move through this area on Monday evening and into Tuesday. Flooding is a genuine risk here. Now, let me take you further south because this is the part that surprised even some forecasters. Perth. And I know some of you just perked up. Listen carefully. Perth is looking at a mostly quiet Monday with partly cloudy skies and a slight chance of a shower in the evening with a possible thunderstorm in the northeast. Temperatures around 36 degrees on Monday. But here is the twist. By Thursday, the remnants of Mitchell's moisture feed are expected to push into the Perth region. The Bureau of Meteorology is forecasting a high chance of showers for Thursday, most likely in the morning and afternoon. The ultraviolet index is extreme at 13. So if you are outdoors, sun protection is not optional, it is essential. But the bigger story is what comes later in the week when that moisture arrives. Keep checking back. The Central West and Northern Wheat Belt. These inland areas could receive between 20 and 60 millimetres of rain from the decaying system between Tuesday night and Wednesday. For some of these communities that have been baking through a relentless summer, this rain will be welcome. For others, it could arrive too fast and cause localised flooding. Now, remember I promised you a surprise city at the 5-minute mark. Here it is. Adelaide. Most people are focused entirely on Western Australia right now, and fair enough, but Adelaide is sitting at 29.5 degrees today, and a separate weather system is building that could bring severe thunderstorms to South Australia later this week. The Bureau of Meteorology has flagged that thunderstorms are possible across every single Australian state and territory between now and next Sunday. Let me repeat that. Every state, every territory. And Adelaide, which has already been dealing with extreme fire danger ratings in the lower and upper southeast and the Murraylands, could see a dramatic shift from extreme heat and fire risk to thunderstorms and potential flash flooding within the space of just 48 hours. That kind of weather whiplash is exactly the scenario that catches people off guard. But I am not done with the eastern states yet, not even close. Sydney. Right now, Monday the 9th of February, Sydney is seeing rain at times with temperatures around 26 degrees. Light winds becoming northerly 15 to 20 kilometres per hour during the middle of the day. But here is what you need to watch. Tuesday brings partly cloudy skies with the chance of fog in the west in the early morning and a slight chance of showers. The chance of a thunderstorm in the western suburbs during the afternoon and early evening. Wednesday looks mostly sunny with possible morning fog. But then Thursday and Friday, things change. Showers are expected to increase from Thursday onward. The ultraviolet index is extreme at 12 on Thursday, so you are dealing with both intense sun between showers and the risk of storms. The pattern through the end of the week suggests Sydney will see a shower or two on both Friday and Saturday, with medium chances of rain and cloudy skies. Not catastrophic, but enough to disrupt outdoor plans and potentially cause localised issues if storms become severe. Melbourne. Monday is partly cloudy, with light winds becoming southerly 20 to 30 kilometres per hour. Slight chance of a shower about the Dandenong Ranges in the early afternoon, near zero chance of rain elsewhere. Tuesday, partly cloudy again with a slight chance of a shower in the morning. Winds southerly 15 to 25 kilometres per hour. But Wednesday is the day Melbourne residents need to circle on their calendars. Showers increasing. And then Thursday is the big one. Mostly sunny in the morning, but a high chance of showers in the afternoon and evening. The chance of a thunderstorm in the evening. Winds will swing from northerly at 15 to 25 kilometres per hour in the morning, strengthening to 25 to 35 from the north to northwest, then shifting south to southwesterly 20 to 30 kilometres per hour during the afternoon. That wind change is classic Melbourne, and it is the trigger for those afternoon and evening storms. The ultraviolet index hits 11, which is extreme. Friday into the weekend looks like it settles down with partly cloudy conditions and southerly winds. Brisbane, currently sitting at 28.8 degrees with a forecast high of 30 degrees. Brisbane has been dealing with a vigorous southeasterly change that brought damaging winds to the southeastern islands and ranges. Wind gusts around 90 kilometres per hour were recorded across Moreton and Stradbroke Islands. Severe thunderstorms have been possible about parts of inland southeast Queensland. The Darling Downs, Granite Belt, Southeast Coast and Wide Bay districts have all been under watch. For the week ahead, Brisbane remains in the humid, storm-prone pattern typical of a Queensland February. But the added moisture from the broader weather pattern means that any thunderstorms that do develop could drop heavier rainfall than usual. If you are on the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast, keep an eye on afternoon storm development, especially from Wednesday onward. Darwin, 31.7 degrees and typical wet season conditions. Showers and thunderstorms are an ongoing feature. Darwin has already had a particularly active cyclone season, with 6 named systems forming or entering Australia's western region by early January, making this one of the most active starts to a season on record. The monsoon trough remains active across the top end, and further tropical development cannot be ruled out. Hobart, the coolest of all the capitals at 16.3 degrees today, with a forecast high of 22. Hobart is looking at relatively settled conditions compared to the rest of the country, but even Tasmania is not immune from the nationwide thunderstorm outbreak that the Bureau is tracking. Later in the week, storms could reach parts of the state. Canberra, 19.1 degrees currently, with a high of 23 forecast. The nation's capital is dealing with cloudy skies and the possibility of thunderstorms building in the afternoon and evening hours as the week progresses. With the ultraviolet index hitting extreme levels, it is a week to be vigilant about both sun protection and storm preparedness. Now, let me put all of this together so you can see the full picture. This is not just one weather event. This is a cascading sequence that is going to unfold across the entire continent over the next 5 to 7 days. It starts with Tropical Cyclone Mitchell slamming into the Pilbara coast. Then the remnants push south through the Western Australian interior, bringing heavy rain and flooding risk to communities that rarely see this kind of moisture. Meanwhile, a separate thunderstorm outbreak is building that will affect every single state and territory. Weekly rainfall accumulations could exceed 100 millimetres in parts of central and northern Australia, with some areas in the north possibly seeing several hundred millimetres. And do not forget the economic impact. The Pilbara is often called the engine room of the Australian economy. Port Hedland, the world's biggest iron ore export hub, was forced to shut down on Saturday. The ports of Ashburton, Cape Preston West, Dampier and Varanus Island all closed as well. Major mining companies evacuated staff. Port Hedland has since reopened, but the disruption to Australia's resource sector is significant. Every day those ports are closed costs millions. This is the 9th named cyclone in Australia's area of responsibility this season. 9. And the season does not officially end until the 30th of April. We are not even halfway through. The most important things you can do right now. If you are in Western Australia, particularly the Pilbara, Gascoyne or Central West, stay indoors and follow all directions from emergency services. Check the Bureau of Meteorology website or app constantly for updated warnings. If you are in the eastern states, this is your heads up. Do not be caught off guard midweek. Charge your devices. Know where your torches and batteries are. Clear your gutters if you have not already. And if you are in a flood-prone area, think now about your plan. Comment below with your location and I will make sure your area is covered in detail in the next update. I read every single comment. And speaking of the next update, here is something to watch. The Bureau of Meteorology is already tracking another area of tropical development in the waters north of Australia. It is too early to say whether it will become anything significant, but given how active this season has been with 9 named systems already, the chances of another cyclone forming before the end of February are higher than normal. I will have all the details on that developing situation in the next video, along with the extended forecast for the second half of February. Make sure you do not miss it. Share this video with anyone you know in these affected areas because they might not have seen the warnings yet. The weather is not slowing down and neither are we. Stay safe.